Solving quadratic equation by factorization. Factorization is one of 4 ways of solving quadratic equation. The other 3 are using formula, completing the square, and using graphs. A quadratic equation has 2 degrees of polynomial. The reason it has 2 degrees of polynomial is because it's got the highest leading exponent, or the leading power is 2. And therefore it will have 2 factors. That's the first factor and then the second factor. Inside the factor, it would have x minus alpha, x minus beta, and which equals to 0. Each factor is then set to 0. X minus alpha equal to 0, therefore x equals alpha. X minus beta equal to 0, therefore x equals beta. So these are the roots of quadratic equations. The roots are the point where it crosses the x-axis. Now, let's try and solve a quadratic equation. Now let's solve this quadratic equation. X squared minus 2x minus 8. The coefficient of x squared, a, equals 1. And the coefficient of x to power 1, b, equals minus 2. And the coefficient of x to power 0, c, equals 8 minus 8. Now we need to find AC. AC meant AC is A times C, which is 1 times minus 8, which equals to minus 8. We need 2 numbers we can multiply together to give minus 8, and when we add them together, will give us minus 2, will give us B. So I'm thinking you normally start with 1 and 8. 1 plus 8 will not give us minus 2. We start with 2 and 4. Well, 2 plus 4 will give us 6. We want minus 2. So if we have plus 2 minus 4 will give us minus 2. We then need to put x in front of that, and x in front of that, and in front of, put x after 2 and x after 4, and then we need to take those 2 numbers and replace minus 2 with them. So I get x squared. Instead of writing minus 2x, I'm going to write plus 2x minus 4x minus 8 equal to 0. So I've replaced b, which is minus 2, with 2 minus 4. Now I need to factorize the first 2 terms here. So x is common, so I'm going to get x plus 2. So I've taken x out from the first 2. That's what I've done. I will leave the minus in front and leave the 4 out. So I'm going to get x minus, well, the sign, because there's a minus in front of it, so the sign will change to plus 2 equal to 0. Because when we expand the bracket, minus 4 times x is minus 4x, minus 4 times 2 is minus 8. Now the common factor here is x plus 2 and x plus 2. Notice how both x plus 2 and x plus 2 are the same. So that shows you're doing it right. And therefore, we write x plus 2 as a common factor. And what's left is x and minus 4x. So we write x minus 4x. And that equal to 0. So those are our factors now. So we got a factors now. So now we need to set the factors to 0. X plus 2 equal to 0. X minus 4 equal to 0. And that meant x equals to minus 2. So I take away 2 from both sides, and x equals 4. I add 4 to both sides in that case. So the solutions are x equals 2 minus 2, x equals 4. Just in case we have to sketch this curve, what we need to do is basically write our roots. So minus 2 and 4. That's what that meant when you work out your roots. So this is our roots. So that's roots. And then the intercept on the y-axis is minus 8. That is c. C is the intercept on the y-axis. So you look for minus 8. So somewhere there, maybe you just make that minus 8. And now we can sketch this curve going that way. So that's how you sketch the quadratic equation. And that's x minus x minus y, and that's y. That's minus 8, which is c, your intercept on the y-axis. Right, let's solve this question 2. X squared minus 35x plus 66. In this case, your a equals 1, b equals minus 35, and c is 66. In this case, we want to find AC. So that is 1 times 66. So AC is 66. We need two numbers we can multiply together to get 66, and when we add them together we get minus 35. So I'm thinking two numbers are 2 and 33, and put minus in front of them. That's it, because minus 2 plus minus 33 will give us minus 35. So I need to put x in front of there, behind 2, and x behind 33. I need to take those two numbers and then replace it with 35. So I'm going to get x squared minus 2x minus 33x plus 66 equal to 0. Now I need to then factorize the first two. In this case, that will be x is a common factor there, so I'll get x left minus 2, and then I'll write whatever sign is there, so that's minus, and then 33 open bracket, I'm left with x. Now it's going to be minus 2 as well, because there are two 33 in 66. And therefore, we notice that we're left with two common factors, and if that's not the same, then you're not doing it right. So you have to get the same common factor. So that's our first factor, x minus 2. And what's left is x and minus 33. So that will be x minus 33. Those are our factors. So that's our factors. And then obviously we equate it to 0. In this case, we need to set the factor to 0. X minus 2 equal to 0. X minus 33 equal to 0. And therefore, x equals 2. X equals 33. X equals to 2 and x equals to 33 are our factors, our roots. So roots are x equals 2 and x equals 33. In this case, if we were to sketch this curve, We can't sketch it because we know the roots now. So x equals 2 somewhere here, and x equals 33 somewhere there. Let's assume 2 and 33. Now the intercept c is the intercept on the y-axis, so plus 66. So let's assume it's over there, 66. And now we can sketch the curve going that way. Okay, so that's terrible sketch. I'm going to do that again. So the curve will be going sort of like that. So that's our quadratic curve. That's x minus y and y. The last two examples we did where a is equal to 1. Now a is greater than 0. A is 3. B is 4. And C is minus 15. Still apply the same method. We need to find AC, which is 3 times minus 15. That is minus 45. We need two numbers we can multiply to get minus 45, and when we add them together we get 4 plus 4. We'll only start with 1 and 45. 1 plus 45 will not give us 4, so that's not good. We go for 2. 2 would not work because the last number is odd, so we have to go for 3. So 3 and 15. In this case, 3 and 15 will not work because 3 plus 15 is 18 and 3 minus 15 is 12. We need to try 4. 45 for 4 would not work, so we have to try 5. 5 and 9. So 5 and 9. 5 and 9 would work because if we put minus in front of 5 and plus in front of 9, that should do it, because minus 5 plus 9 is basically it's 4 plus 4. So now to do that, we need to put x behind 9 and x behind 5, and that will give us the two numbers we need to replace 4x by. So we take minus 5x plus 9x and replace it with plus 4x. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 9 in front of the minus 5, so to make it easier for me to factorize, I'm going to do 3x squared plus 9x minus 5x minus 15 equal to 0. It's still the same thing, so minus 9x minus 5x is 4x. Now I need to take the first two numbers and factorize them. So 3x is common. I'm left with x plus 3. And then I need to factorize the next number. I will leave the minus in place, take the 5 out, close open bracket, x is left plus 3, because minus 5 times x is minus 5x, minus 5 times 3 is minus 15. So the sign, if there's minus in front of it, when you open the bracket, the sign will change inside the bracket. So instead of minus, we have plus in this case. Right, we've got our first common factor, x plus 3, x plus 3. So we take those out. So that will be x plus 3 is our first common factor. and we're left with 3x minus 5x. So that's 3x minus 5x. So those are our two factors. That's the two factors we need, and we equate it to 0. We set each factor to 0, so x plus 3 equal to 0, which implies that x equals minus 3. 3x minus 5 equal to 0, and therefore 3x equals 5, x equals 5 over 3. So our roots, or the roots that we need for these equations, are x equals minus 3 and x equals 5 over 3. We could sketch this again if we need to, if we are told to sketch. We know where the roots are. Minus 3 around here, and that's 0 where, and this is plus 5 over 3. So where it crosses the x-axis is minus 15, and where it crosses the y-axis. And so therefore when we sketch, here we go that way. I just missed that point. Okay, so that's the sketch of the graph, and that's y minus x. Now let's try this question where a equals 4, b equals minus 4, and c equals minus 3. Now we need to find AC, which is 4 times minus 3, and that will give us minus 12. So we need two numbers we can multiply together to get minus 12, and when we add them together we get minus 4. If we try 1 and 12, that will not work because 1 plus 12 is 13 and 1 minus 12 is 11. So we need to try 2 and 6. Well, this will work because if I have minus in front of 6, so 2x minus 6x will give us minus 4x. So that's what we need. We need to take 2x and minus 6x and replace it with minus 4x. So here we go. 4x squared plus 2x minus 6x minus 3 equal to 0. Now what we need to do is to basically simplify or factorize the first two. That is 2x is common, so I get 2x plus 1, and then I have minus, so I write minus, and then I'll take out 3 from there, and I'm left with 2x plus 1, because minus 3 times 2x will give us minus 6, and minus 3 times plus 1 will give us minus 3. So that's correct, and all equal to 0. Now what I need to do is, there's a common factor here, which is 2x plus 1. That's the first factor. That's the first factors. Well, those are the factors now. And the next factor is 2x minus 3. All that equal to 0. So we set each factor to 0, and therefore 2x equals minus 1, and x equals minus 1 over 2. So that's the first root. And the next one is 2x minus 3 equal to 0, 2x equals to 3. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 3 over 2. And that's the second root. If we were to sketch that, again, just draw your line. And x is minus a half somewhere here, and x is 3 over 2. 3 over 2 is 1.5. And it's crossing the y-axis at c. C is minus 3. So let's just say this is minus 3. And so the graph will be coming that way, cutting the y-axis there. And so that's that's the quadratic equation. Here's another question. In this question, which is just take out 3, because you can see there's no x to the power 1 or x to the power 0. There is x to the power 0. X to the power 0 is obviously 1. That's why you have minus 3. So your c is actually minus 3, but there's no b. So in this case, 3 is a common factor, so we take it out. So you go x squared minus 1 equal to 0. Now, x squared minus 1 is what we call difference of two squares, because I've got x squared minus 1 squared. Minus 1 squared is 1. And in the difference of two squared, we have a squared minus b squared. That will become a plus b, a minus b. So in this case, yes, we have this situation where x is a and b is 1. So that will become x plus 1, x minus 1. And so here we go 3 into bracket, x plus 1, x minus 1 equal to 0. Now we need to set these factors to 0, where 3 divide both sides by 3, so that 3 will disappear, because 0 by 3 is 0. So we get x plus 1 and x minus 1 equal to 0. This is our factors. That's the factors. Now to get a root, we need to set each factors to 0. So x plus 1 equal to 0, x equals minus 1, and x minus 1 equal to 0, x equals 1. Now we can sketch this curve as well. We know the roots. We just found the roots. Those are the roots. X equals 1 and x equals minus 1. So I draw this line here, draw another line there. Let me draw it properly. Just draw a single line. Right. So x equals 1. That's minus 1, and x equals 1. And the curve crosses at minus 3. So minus 3 is somewhere here. So it must be symmetrical. Curve is symmetrical. At the line of symmetry is y-axis, which is x equals to 0. So the y-axis is x equals to 0, and the x-axis is y equal to 0. And that's the quadratic roots, and that's the graph. Right, question 6. That's another question here. In this case, c is 0, so we just need to take out the common factor here. I see this is a different patient as well. You can see that the only common factor here is x. So take x out, you're going to get x is left minus 12, and that'll be equal to 0. In fact, this is the factor. These are the factors. In this case, we just need to set each factor to 0, x equal to 0 to get the roots, and x minus 12 equal to 0. Therefore, x equals 12. So the roots are x equal to 0, x equals to 12. So let's sketch this curve quickly. And so when x equals to 0 is one root, and x equals 12 is another root. Now we just need, and c is 0, so I mean the intercept is 0 on the y-axis, so it just crosses the 0 boundary and it goes all the way there. Not a perfect sketch, but you get the idea. And that's the equation. In this question, we're going to solve by factorization. A equals minus 1, B equals minus 5, and C equals 36. We need to find AC. AC equals minus 1 times 36, which is minus 36. So we need two numbers we can multiply together to get minus 36 and add together and get minus 5. 1 times 36 will not do it because 1 plus 36 is 37 and 1 minus 36 is 35, so it's not going to work. 1 minus 36 is minus 35. 36 minus 1 is 35. Right, so let's try 2 and 1, 8 to 2 and 18. Well, 2 and 18 won't work either. So let's try 3. 3 and 12. 3 and 12 will not work either. So shall we try 4? 4 and 9. 4 and 9. So 4 times 9. What would 4 times 9 be? So we got yeah, so that would be, we're thinking that's 18, isn't it? And what, 36, because 2 18 will give you 36. So 4 will do it, but we need minus 9 and 4, so just stick x there and x there. And so therefore we're going to replace minus 5x by 4x minus 9x. So let's put that in. Minus x squared plus 4x minus 9x plus 36 equal to 0. In this case, we need to take out factors in the first two. So I'm going to take out x factor out, or actually I'll take out minus x out. So that would be x minus 4, because minus x times x is x squared minus x squared, minus x times minus 4 is plus 4x. And I'll leave the minus where it is and take out the 9 out. So I get x minus 4 equal to 0. So our first common factors are minus 4, minus 4. So x minus 4 is one of the factors, and minus x minus 9 is another factor. So we can have minus x minus 9, it's another factor, all equal to 0. So we need to set the factors to 0 to get the roots. X minus 4 equal to 0, therefore x equals 4, minus x minus 9 equal to 0, therefore minus x equals 9, and x equals minus 9. So the roots are x equals 4 and x equals minus 9. Crossing the y-axis at C, which is 36. So if we sketch this curve quickly, this is what we call sketching quickly. We're looking for x equals minus 9, so it's somewhere here, and x equals 4. Crossing at 36, plus 36, someone up here. Now this curve is upside down because the value of a is minus 1, it's negative. So this curve will be crossing, it's an upside down curve. That's the sketch. The drawing is not perfect right now. Okay, and that's it. So it's minus, this is maximum, by the way, maximum, because it's on the top of the hill, and a is negative, it's minus a, and that's why the curve is upside down, what we called sad face.